Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus here again, serving as spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people. I say that to you because my true mission is to relieve the suffering of the poor. You see, I have the knowledge of how this is done, but I can't do it alone. We must, as a people, do it together. I speak of prosperity for this whole nation, this whole world. But I cannot tell you how you, as an individual, can be prosperous in economics or money, as it were. Because the pursuit of money is at odds with each of you. Or if some of you come together as a group, then your group is against another group. In other words, in this current system of doing things, there has to be losers. But my mission is to come to tell you, to re-educate you, to tear away that brainwashing that you've had, to give you a new concept of life, to let you know that every last one of you can be as wealthy as you want to be. But the way to do that is that you have to work together. This is a team effort. Minnesota Vikings won their first game. This is the fourth game that they played this season. But they won their first game yesterday because they worked together. Before, in the other three games, they had the same players. Everybody doing their own thing, doing the best they could in their own thing. But every game was a losing game. Yesterday, they worked together. The poor people, you want something out of life and you just seemingly can't have it. And each of you are trying to get yours, and no one is getting any place except those who are allowed in. And you don't know why. The reason why is because the system is set up to have you all against one another. And until we can come together as one and say, if one of us is hungry, then all of us are hungry. You see what I'm saying? And we can take care of the business. But I can't do this. I can only share this information with you and walk accordingly, where in essence I will win, but we as a people will be defeated because what was will still be. And my whole living would have been in vain. And I'm just sharing a couple of things with you today. You have Tea Party, conservatives, talking against this Obamacare, I think they call it, Obamacare. Now understand that during the election, Obama talked about health care for everybody. Mitt Romney talked against it, and some other things. But the people said, we want Barack, not Romney, not the conservative perspective. And so we come here and they write the law and they sign it and put it into law. Then those who didn't want it have it legal, take it to court. The Supreme Court said it was legal, everything is proper. You come back and the people in the Congress says, well, it is. And then you find somebody say, well, I'm not going to take it. I'm going to shut, if I have to, this whole nation down because we don't want this health care. This health care is to help people who, at the present time, are basically without health care. And these people are saying, we can't afford that. We want to cut it out. Now, it is being said on the Democratic side that they want to cut it out because if it's implemented, and it will be implemented, according to the pros, that the people are going to like it, and it's going to work well with the Democratic Party, and it will work against the Republicans. So their best method is to say, well, if the people who voted up to this point to have this consideration in the position of being at higher demand than less, and we can't change anything, so what we'll do is we'll cut and shut down the government if we can't do this because this is our negotiating tool. Well, I don't see any reason for negotiation. I mean, you don't shut the government down. The people don't want the government shut down. The people want Obamacare. So it wasn't being negotiated. You're trying to say that because the people said we want to vote for Barack and his Obamacare, then you're going to shut the government down until you get rid of it because you're going to get it your way one way or the other. Well, so much said. I'm from here and from all of you who've been speaking your views since this information has come up. But there's something that's going on, ladies and gentlemen. They're constantly talking about cutting this, and your kids go to school now, they got to pay for everything. Everything is going up. The prices on food for the schools, everything is going up. Everything. You just think of it. Anything that you spend money on, everything is going up. Periodically, the gas prices have gone so high until they can let it fall 15 to 20 cents every now and then, because when they increase it back up, they're going to catch up for the slack that was made. But all of this, except wages are limited. Those who are beyond that in the 1%, they're not considered like wages. They get bonuses, they get big money. And the poor, oh, they don't get an increase in anything. Their rent goes up, their food goes up, their energy bills goes up, the cost of everything goes up, but you know what? They still get the same little money. So in essence, this is to try to keep the people divided. So what's happening? I say that this is my opinion based upon my being a social scientist, ladies and gentlemen, a scientist who's concerned about people. And my basic focus has been how to end poverty, that stuff that brings so much pain and suffering to people. And in my attempts to try to eliminate that, I discover all kinds of obstacles. And these are the kinds of things that I report back to you. You know, I see the world's sponsorship of terrorism. And it is an attempt to control the world by a conglomerate of the richest people of the world. Why do I say richest? Because with money, supposedly, you can do anything you want to do. And if you got money, you want to do everything that others can't do. You want to know everything that others can't know or don't know. And so you spend money to do it. Then after you get all this information, you want to make sure you're always in control. Always in control. And having this puts you in a position to be doing these things for which I just accuse you of. And this has been an attempt since the beginning of human socialization, through the establishment of them versus us. Terrorism is not new. This is just a refined attempt to frighten, blind, deceived human beings into giving up every right not supported by this conglomerate in exchange for protection from the unknown terrorism. This is their ultimate solution to the world's socioeconomic problems. It puts the rich on top as gods, the secret societies and supporters of the establishment, as many as needed to maintain status quo, on one side, and everyone else as servants, slaves. Anywhere in the world that will retaliate against such systemic policies will be treated as the Davidians slaughtered in Texas, as the resistors at Tiananmen Square in China, or resistors of apartheid in South Africa, the Jews of Israel, and the merciless treatment of slaves in America. The competition of such a programmatic solution indicates the installation of the Antichrist as world ruler supported by the people. The people's choice, they call it. However, there is an attractive alternative, the opposite direction, for which I come to remind you. A power you cannot see, that is responsible for all things that you can see, all things that you can hear, all things that you can taste, all things that you can smell, all things that you almost believe. And you, an unseen power, is doing all of this in the earth, on the earth, above the earth. And everything that humans need to survive has already been provided by that unseen power. And all humans have to do is to be able to utilize it in such a way that everybody can be thrilled in this family, everybody at home. And we've been given instructions on how to do that. How to do that. You treat people like you want to be treated. You don't own anything. You didn't bring nothing with you. You ain't going to take nothing away when you go. You can't even keep from getting sick. You can't keep them down. So why would you come in trying to run something? That's the way to keep peace. And if someone decides that they want to violate this principle, then the other way to fit in, to block any changes, is for nobody else to accept it. Reject it. Reject it. Key. That was God's plan. Reject it. That's it. Reject it. Now you say, well, this stuff is going on so long, they'll kill us. So what? You're going to die anyway. Now, if God was able to do all of this, God was able to put you here, and you're standing up for what God has done, you think God will have you eliminated? Maybe from this scene. But God got use for you. Why? Because you're a servant of the Almighty God. Now, that's, to me, seems as simple can be. Now, when I talk to you about giving up the world, I don't know what other people mean. It sounds like they mean go somewhere and lock yourself up in a room and don't come back out till you die. Or go over to some camp. All of you separate yourselves from some camp and hold yourself out as being the chosen one, the enlightened one, the purest one. Now, I'm not talking about any God that will call you out to do that, or any spirit that will call you out to do that. I'm talking about a spirit that teaches you for the purpose of teaching others. I'm talking about a spirit that is in the process, or has taught you so that you can teach others. I'm talking to you about one who is a generator of love, not separatism. Anyway, all of these things happen. But being of the world, when I speak of it, giving up the world, I'm referring to being born again. And when I speak of being born again, I'm talking about the renewing of your mind. I'm talking about all those lies that you've been told, like Christopher Columbus discovered America. Stop believing that stuff. If you want to know the truth, find out who really did. Come over here first. And I say come over here first. I'm talking before the native Indians came over here first. Apparently, whoever was first is the one who discovered it. And if you were just put here, you discovered that you were someplace you didn't know where you were. So we don't have to worry about all that kind of stuff. My thing of it is this. Being born again means that you put that stuff aside. You have seen a new way of life. And it is a good way of life, one that you are proud to be of, one that you don't mind putting your name on, the one you don't mind putting your actions behind. And the fact that somebody will kill you makes it even better, because now it's more real. It's real. It's real. And you do it. So when I have a meeting with the poor, I'm telling you that you've been screwed, you've been messed over, and God wants you to know it. He wants you to know that you've been messed over. He wants you to know what He has provided for you, so you can know the difference between what is and what isn't. And you can choose if you want to go forward. I want to thank you so very much for giving me this your time, ladies and gentlemen. It has been truly a pleasure. And I got some more additional stuff that I will be bringing to you shortly. And in the meanwhile, thank you so very much again. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.